So Beyonce once said that her mom used to tell her when she was little, and she kind of lives by this now, that like when something hard happens, you have 3 days to grieve. You have 3 days to just check out, take care of yourself, but then you got to get back in it. And we have talked a fair amount about doing that work of like checking in with yourself and practicing self-compassion and taking care of yourself so that you can be sustainable for the journey. Can you talk about a time, or can you talk about maybe even like a philosophy like Beyonce has of like something happens, here's how long I'm going to take care of myself. This is how I'm going to process it. But then this is the trigger, the thing that says, okay, time to get back in.
Yeah. No, that's great. You're going to laugh at this because I say this at the beginning of trainings when I do full day trainings. We actually have self-care equipment on the table. Some of that self-care is, and you're going to laugh, a fidget wheel. I always have this with me. And I say with food, there are people who are salty, who love salt, and people who love sugar. And so we always have chocolate or sugar, and we always have salty things. And then we have physical manipulatives like Play-Doh or whatever. And we have coloring things. And so all of those things we always have. I have taken that to heart. I love salty snacks. So I'm going to eat really, really bad for about a week. And I know it. It's just going to be. And I tell my family, just leave me alone. I know I'll get back. I'll get the spinach. I'll get the kale later. But for right now, give me some Triscuits, give me some cheese, give me some chips and especially some French fries. So I'm going to do that. I will watch bad television or Netflix or streaming, like shows that have absolutely nothing to do with race, even though I'll watch it and I can still, my analytical mind will still process it. And then that shuts my brain down. It helps to just me stop thinking and worrying about it. After that week, then I start to build myself back up. And then that's for me during that particular time period. I literally started rereading Du Bois and Douglas and Cornel West, and Baldwin was the other person I forgot to mention, because for me, they are the four people, and Ida May. And so those are the people who I feel like were really in the thick of it and who were consistent, rain or shine. They just kept going forward. And so that's kind of my process. And then I'll get back in, start having conversations with people. Am I crazy? What about this thought of this idea? And so that's that process for me. But there's also a great line in Mary J. Blige, the album that she did where she went to Europe and she said she went to therapy 3 times a day. That hits me in such a deep, visceral way where it's like, I will go to a therapist or a spiritual director. And as many times as I need, there is not enough times that there's not too many. So those are some of the things that I do.
Thank you for that. That's incredibly helpful. What I love about what you is that in the emerging out of it, it was bringing back in the voices of those that matter to you in your life and that were like formative for you. Like it wasn't like you had a week off and then you jumped right back into a protest or another trip. Like it was a slowly, like gradual back end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I really love, John, like as Rashida said, we talk about self-compassion. I like, that doesn't just mean like positive self-compassion tastes like Triscuits and cheese. I like how tangible that is. And it's also permissive. Like, yeah, we need to actually take a step back and take a break and like do that. Figure out what self-compassion looks like and do that with the intention that it's going to fuel you, repair you, and move you back into the game. The second thing I wanted to raise up is we're also talking a lot about what is the infrastructure of support that we need around ourselves for this lifelong pilgrimage, this journey, this work. You just raised up mentorship in terms of literary mentors. You raised up therapy, you raised up spiritual direction and coaching. These are critical components to our ongoing formation if we're going to actually be in this for good, you know? So thank you for continuing to highlight that for us.